All right, we've got one more. You want to knock it out?
Monster.
This one's called Monster. Here we go.
Oh.
How has everything been turned against us? How did suffering become so endless? How am I to reunite with my estranged? Do I need to change? I'm surrounded by the souls of those I've lost. I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed. What if the greatest threat we'll find across the sea is me? What if I'm the monster?
There we
What
go.
if
There it
I did
is.
wrong?
Oh,
What
man.
if I'm the problem that's been hiding all along? What if I'm the one who killed you every time I cave to guilt? What if I've been far too kind to foes, but a monster to ourselves? What if I'm the monster? Is the Cyclops struck with guilt when he kills? Is he up in the middle of the night? Or does he end my men to avenge his friend and then sleep knowing he has done right? When the witch turns men to pigs to protect her nymphs, is she going insane? Or did she learn to be colder when she got older and now she saves them the pain?
Yeah.
When a god comes
That's
down
nice.
and makes a fleet drown, is he scared that he's doing something wrong? Or does he keep us in check so we must respect him and now no one dares to piss him off? Does a soldier use a wooden horse to kill sleeping Trojans cause he is vile? Or does he throw away his remorse and save more lives with guile? If I became the monster and threw that guilt away, would that make us stronger? Would it keep our foes at bay? If I became the monster to everyone but us and made sure we got home again, who would care if we're unjust? If I became the ruthlessness,
I like this a lot.
mercy upon ourselves.
Oh.
And deep down I know this well. I lost my best friend, I lost my mentor, my mom, 500 men gone. This can't go on, I must get to see Penelope and Telemachus. So if we must sail through dangerous oceans and beaches, I'll go where Poseidon won't reach us. And if I gotta drop another infant from a wall in an instant so we all don't die,
Oh, shit.
then I'll become the monster.
Oh, man.
I will
Straight to 11.
Wow.
become the monster like nothing
Oh,
ever
shit.
was. So what if I'm the monster lurking deep below? I must become the monster, and then we'll make it home.
Jeez.
Penelope, Hopelessness is mercy upon ourselves. I'll become the monster.
Oh, and there's that chord again.
Heavy distortion guitar.
Oh, wow.
Bro.
That was
A journey right there.
That was
I love
quite the
I love that
journey.
it went from like 3 or 4 to 11.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
It's funny
I'll
'cause-
drop another infant off a wall.
He just
Holy
went-
shit.
Yeah, he just went nuts. Because I think he's really like just analyzing like all the situations that he's been in. Literally everyone's in hounding him like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing
Yeah.
that? And he's like, well, why are they doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
Like, are they monsters or are they just trying to protect
This
themselves?
whole
Like,
song is just like a wonderful representation of this existential crisis that like probably every human being encounters at some point.
yeah.
Of like what is good and evil, like
Right.
where do you draw the line at things? Yeah, especially when you do end up seeing things from other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Where is this middle ground and what's the best choice for you or for anybody
Yeah.
or for everybody,
Absolutely.
if that does exist? Whew, boy.
I agree. in terms of the musicality of it, so I really liked how this beginning started. Like, it sounds very like somber at first, right? And he's obviously like being like,
I like how it sucks that air out too.
yeah, he's conflicted. I will say though, at one point I kind of wasn't feeling the flow of some of the words. And then it picked back up and it was good. But there was a part
Some of the flow was
where
Is the Cyclops struck with guilt when he kills?
this is cool. I like this a lot. I was into it.
My men to avenge his friend and then sleep knowing he has done him right.
That was fine.
Witch turns men to pigs to protect her nymphs. Is she going insane? Or did she learn to be colder when she got older and now she saves them the pain?
That's fine.
When a god comes down and makes a fleet drown, is he scared that he's doing something wrong?
I forget where
Or
it
does he
was.
keep us in check, so we must respect him, and now no one dares to piss him off.
I think those two
Yeah,
lines
that-
were a
that
little like
felt ever so slightly
just the
forced.
flow.
It felt ever so slightly forced.
Yeah. It was a little forced there.
Keep us in check, so we must respect him, and now no one dares to piss him off.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna use those words, I don't know how it could be structured better. Or does he keep us in check, so we must respect him, and now no one dares to piss him off? Like it, I think that's kind of the only way you can really go about it. But I wonder if they could have worded that a little better. But I think, because I keep going back and forth, I almost kind of like that the flow breaks, because I think he's just like, if you're thinking in terms of like the character and like the emotion that he's kind of going through, he's cycling through all these situations. He's thinking about the Cyclops, he's thinking about the witch, he's thinking about this god and that god and this person. So now he's just like, it's almost as if he's kind of like rambling, and it's amping up the the emotion and for the impact to eventually bring it to the point where he's like, fine, like fuck it, I'll be the monster.
No, exactly.
You know? Just in a musicality sense, it was like the rhythm just felt slightly off.
It's that part of the musical parts of it that are adding to the feeling and emotion that's going on through that part of the song and through as the song progresses.
Right.
So it's like, because the two feelings that you have to work with in music are tension and resolve, right?
Yeah,
that's like the two feelings, and there's degrees of various kinds. And so like you always play with like, where am I going to throw tension, or like what, like if the flow was like always really satisfying and kind of like what you said, if the flow is always like really satisfying and not so uneasy feeling here and there, like would the climax feel the same way of when he finally goes fully insane?
Yeah. It's kind of like to be like a very random like analogy here. It's kind of like trading card games, where it's like you need a lot of shitty cards in order for the good cards to be good.
Sure.
Like it's just kind of like the flow of sort of like a trading card game, where it's like, you know, these cards are amazing, but you kind of need to have these basic cards to kind of just be like, oh, it just does like a little bit of damage.
Very interesting analogy for those who are not musicians.
Yeah.
Because you have, in order for any sort of resolve to feel as satisfying and as impactful as it does, you have to have some sort of tension somewhere.
Yeah.
How much tension you throw in is, you know, dealer's choice. But
if every card in a TCG game is like completely overpowered, then it's just like the whole game is just imbalanced.
There's no
it's like,
point
oh,
in
look at all
playing.
these amazing things, but there's no point. It's like the flow of it just feels kind of all over the place. But when you have sort of this natural progression of like, here's like some like weaker cards and here's some stronger cards, there's a nice flow to it. There's a nice dynamic, you know? So it's the same thing as we were saying earlier with like when it comes to like the Cyclops saga. We loved all the dynamic changes from that so much. But I think if we had too much of that in all the sagas, it might have been a little too stale after a while. So I think,
and that just would become the norm. And like, how do you keep topping like the same type of thing, you know?
So I think it is cool that all these sagas have different styles, and even if some of the styles aren't like our cup of tea, or if we're not like nearly as like into it as like some like I guess we're more like rock musicians, like rock punk, ska, like harder, like, you know, guitars and drums, like we love that kind of stuff. So when it gets to more of like the hip hop pop, like we like it, like we can like some of it, but it's not quite our cup of tea. But I think it's cool to see those different dynamics throughout this whole progression, because it gives sort of this saga like an identity and like its own character. Like,
Yeah, like we said,
I wouldn't want like I wouldn't want like heavier rock and drums like for Circles. Because it just doesn't fit that character. And the
exactly.
situation that they're in,
It fits what you need stylistically for that part of the story that you're talking about or going through right now. The characters that are being the characters that are singing and being presented and stuff.
But
so.
damn it, we better get a Cyclops level saga moving forward.
Underworld was pretty close though.
This one, I think.
There's only 3 songs in this saga, and like they weren't like Cyclops level, but
yeah,
this is a pretty good saga.
I think it's up there. Is it second?
Maybe like
for
number
me?
3.
I think
for
maybe
me.
3.
Yeah,
it's hard because I think the Underworld, had a really good setup, and I like the emotional sort of journey we went through with the Underworld saga. I think I was expecting more heavier stuff and having Hades more involved. Hades himself wasn't really in this at all.
yeah,
we were in the Underworld.
That was kind of disappointing.
But we didn't get any Hades at all. That could just be, maybe that's just what happens in the story. Like maybe Odysseus just doesn't ever come across Hades, and that's fine,
Also, can we the total left turn? Go back.
Oh,
Can we appreciate that one of the composers here and there is Stephen Dookie?
Wait, Stephen Dookie, what the heck? Wanda Herrans. What an interesting name.
Composers, singers, I don't know.
That's Polites, Hereupon says.
Oh, really? Hey.
That's just what happens in the story, Wolfie says. So
name.
I guess we had no chance of encountering.
Right, so Odysseus in particular doesn't encounter.
Yeah, he doesn't in particular encounter. Who's the I'm thinking of Persephone. Persephone is like the one who like gets she has like a story with Hades. Like she kind of gets captured by him. I think like Zeus promised Hades that he would give Persephone to him as a wife, but she didn't want to, and someone went down to try to like save her. It was
That's
like
Hades' wife, but she doesn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I was getting Penelope and Persephone mixed up, just a little bit.
Mind you, Hades and Persephone are actually really chill. Really?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, I think Hades isn't like this. Oh my God, I'm death and I'm the underworld. He's
kind of presented that in Disney too.
In Disney, he is, but he's a
like
lot
I was just
more,
like this nonchalant dude.
He's
and
a
then,
lot
when
more
he
of
needs
like
to
this.
be.
Yeah, he's a lot more of like this like loner, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I know, he's just like, oh yeah, like I'm just kind of alone down here. No one visits me.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like dim and dark, and it's just depressing. So he wanted a wife to have, and so that's why I think Zeus, being his brother, was like, fine, here's Persephone. She didn't want to, but he's like, hey, come down here. I'll give you a good life down here. Like, look at what you can have. And she's like, it's just all dead bones and shit. Like,
so much of this is vaguely coming back to me after like 20
I don't remember the
years.
full story, but there was something where it's like, I think if you cross a certain point, you weren't able to go back. So there was like a weird thing with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about that in Hercules too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember Hercules? You ever see Hercules as a kid? The movie?
A long time ago.
Yeah. Because like he went to save, what's her name? Megan,
yeah.
And that was a constant concept of like, don't go too far, don't stay down there too long.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway. Megara, not Megan.
Meg. She's forced to live with Hades like 4 months out of the year. Oh yeah, I think they end up coming with like a custody kind of thing. Like, my favorite modern interpretation is the webtoon lore Olympus. It combines a lot of different Greek mythos. Pomegranate. She ate like 4 seeds, which tied her to. Oh yes. It's slowly like coming back to me.
And we ate pomegranates that day in class.
Oh no!
When we read that part, whoa! It's little by little, it's coming back to me.
Woo! Cool. I mean, I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed the Underworld saga. Again, I think it's. I almost want to say it's like third, but I'm torn between Troy and Ocean. if they're second or third. So I don't know where Underworld lies just yet. But I think it's up there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, really just because of the intensity and like the emotional turmoil going through, and like, and then how the musicality supports that.
Right.